My name is Scott McEwan. I own Memphis Magnetic Recording in Memphis. I discovered ribbon microphones when I was a younger guy, maybe in high school. I was reading a recording magazine or like an AES thing, the pamphlet. And I see this ad for AEA, for a MS decoder, a little preamp that you'd plug in MS microphones and decode it. And I was like, what is this? You know, like, what is this MS? I had no idea what it was. And I did some research on it, and I found that it's like a figure 8 with a cardioid, and you need to decode the sides. And so then all I had was an AKG 414, which could do figure 8. Then I had like a SM57 cardioid. And so I would put them really close together and listen to it, and it was like mind blowing that it was like, wow, I can make the sides wider or mono or anything in between. And so then that led me down to the thing of listening to, trying to figure out mics that were figure 8. And of course that led me to ribbon mics, because basically they have super, hard nulls. And then of course I just became, hip to RCA and then AEA, all because of that ad and whatever journal that was in or magazine. That's how I first became aware of Wes and ribbon mics. I had a studio up in Nashville for 15 years or so. And, I just started accumulating ribbon mics. I love figure 8 mics, and I love hypercardioid mics. Cardioid, omni aren't so useful for me, but I love the fact that I can put like an upright bass, which is pretty quiet, next to a drum set that's pretty loud, and use the null to like have no drum set, or a lot of less drum set. I use them for the tone of them, but I mostly use them for the rejection of other things in the room. I like to record most stuff live in the room, and when you're doing that, it's really convenient to be able to like null out something. And it's just a benefit that the tone is also good. I love the AEA, stuff, the RPQ 500. That has a serious warm tone to it, which I wasn't expecting for some reason. I don't know why I wasn't expecting that, but it's a toneful pre, and I use that preamp a lot. And I use it for not just ribbon mics. I use it on FET 47s on kick drum. They're awesome on kick drum with a FET 47. And I use it on dynamic mics, and it really makes other ribbon mics sound amazing too, other brands. Almost can't listen to like a Bayer M160. You can't listen to it without that. Without the other one, the one that has the high lift on it, RPQ 500. Yeah, the one with the EQ is amazing on a Bayer ribbon. Amazing. I almost can't listen to it on other pre's. And we have really good pre's here too, so it's like we shoot things out. The first, obviously the first couple of ribbons I bought were RCAs, and they were, you get them and they're like 40 years old when you buy them, and you just don't know what the history is on them. And so they've all had to be fixed, over the years, re-ribboned and stuff. But I had a 77 for a long time, and I kind of liked it, but I never knew what it really was supposed to sound like. So I just assumed that was the sound of it. And then I dropped it and broke it, and I got it re-ribboned, and it sounds like a lot more open. I was like, oh, maybe this thing is always broken. I'm a professional too, I just, just didn't know. So the new ones, I like new stuff. I have tons of old stuff. I'm a hoarder of old gear. I like the new stuff because it's gonna work, and I know it's like reliable. And so recently I've been using a lot more newer things. I think if you want to be an audio engineer, you need to just record everything, and maybe not get hung up on gear. Obviously better gear helps things come along easier and sound better quicker. But I think that if you want to record, you should just get yourself whatever you can afford, whatever device you can record on, and go record things. Record bands in your house or at their shows, at concerts, rent spaces out and record. That's the bottom line. I don't think you need anything else besides just do that, and it will eventually come to you, or you'll no, figure out that's not for you. I can say like a kind of a bummer of a ribbon mic story. Like when my 77 broke, it was my first time I had a gig at RCA Studio B. Like they like opened up, it's a long story, but I got like lucky enough to be able to do a record there once. They like gave me like carte blanche to go in and record there. And so I'm like, I'm in RCA Studio B, I'm gonna put up, the very first mic I'm gonna put up for the day is my RCA. And so I put up my 77 up on the stand above the drum set, which I like a 77 above drum set sometimes, and put it up on the stand. And I walked, I'm always really good about wrapping it around and double checking everything. And I just, for whatever reason, didn't. And it just fell from like, 12 feet up. And just like this icky thud. It was like, I can remember that weird sound of the metal in the windscreen and everything just kind of smashing. Yeah, that's a bad story, I guess. Yeah. But that was the time I got that one fixed, and then it sounds better. Ever since then, I was like, wow, I needed to drop that thing. It was like the ghost of Chet Atkins dropping it off the stand for me.